Welcome, fellow treasure hunters, to the Can Solve. I'm offering all my research here for the Forrest Fenn Thrill of the Chase treasure hunt that I've compiled over the last few years, and I'm presenting it to you here in a 10-part series on YouTube, and I hope that it helps you. I'm offering all my research here for free, but I do ask that if I have helped you immensely or enlightened you in some way, that brings you closer to your treasure hunt, or if you're new and I have catapulted you to the front with this, that you consider donating $10, $20, whatever, to my kids' college fund that I've created, www.gofundme.com/can-treasure-solve. So why don't I just go get it myself if I know where it's at? Well, there's a number of reasons. First of which, I think somebody's going to find it soon. And I think that we're getting closer and closer to the end game here. I also think that he's going to tell his grandson where it is. Grandkids and grandparents have a very special bond. He's mentioned in the past that if he tells anybody, it would be his grandson. So I don't think that that's too far-fetched to assume. I also tried, and I made an error. I made a mistake, and I'll get to that later on of where I think I messed up and where I think the location truly is, right nearby. Again, another reason would be my wife has been very patient and supportive. I'm a puzzle solver. I've enjoyed doing this over time in my free time, but it's time I move on to something else. And she's been very supportive of me throughout this little hunt and my puzzle solving, but it's time I move on to something else and what have you. Also, I have an ego. I want credit for my solve. I want it to be documented. If I'm right here, I believe I am, I want to get credit for it. Lastly, I want to at least influence the hunt by sharing everything I know with others. And hopefully it'll be a catalyst to to someone possibly finding it, and create somewhat of a quickening in the chase that I could be a part of influencing. So first, we start with what you know. So what do we really know? What are the givens? The given is Forrest has integrity. What he says is true. You may not know this. You may not believe this. I had to prove this to myself. I had to know this for a fact before I pursued it. I do believe I determined that. And that has led me to pursue it with more vigor and to pay more attention to the details and the things he says. I believe he hid the treasure. He's not trying to deceive us with his clues, as he mentioned. And I'll get into that because everything I present here seems to align with all the words that have come out of his mouth. He's also, very aware of the contents. So I believe he's going to know when it's found, as long as it's found within his lifetime. I believe this because of the contents themselves within the treasure chest. There are rare gold coins, which I'm sure are traceable. There's a rare amulet, which I'm sure in the circuits that he plays in, he would know if it was sold for money. So in addition to that, he put a bracelet that doesn't have a lot of monetary value, but has a lot of sentimental value to himself. And he has asked that it be returned to him. And I think that's a big clue of why he really wants to know when it's found. And I think we owe that to them. I think anybody that finds it would find some way to give him back his bracelet. I think that's the least they could do. So I am going to provide many, many revelations within this 10-part series, things you haven't thought of. And again, I ask if you are enlightened, if I've aided you getting closer, to consider donating to my kids' college fund. And and what you think is appropriate. So here's my first kind of revelation. We're going to start with the map that he provided in Too Far to Walk, his second big book associated with the treasure hunt. And there are two major clues in this map, in my opinion. One is you've got numbers going across states. They say it's the degree of delineation of true north. While this, I believe, is true when I looked it up, really the reason I believe it's listed on this map is because there's only one place where states and numbers come together in the form of streets, and that is in Washington, D.C. The second big clue in this map, I believe, is the land designations that are listed on the right-hand side. The public lands listed. They're all designations that fall under the Department of Interior, and this is a very critical clue, and I will get to that in the upcoming videos. So let me provide another revelation here. He mentions, as I've gone along in here, and with my treasures bold, I can keep a secret where and hint of riches new and old. Well, I believe that our sponsor, Mr. Fenn, has donated multiple artifacts and paintings to the Smithsonian American Art Museum in Washington, D.C. When you go there, you go to the information desk. They will even tell you there's a very large Fenn collection. And I do know that some of his paintings are listed there. So this is a major clue for folks. I don't believe many of you saw it coming. Again, I offer all my research to others. This is the first part of a 10-part series here. Again, I ask if I've helped you get closer to your hunt, consider donating to my kids' college fund at www.gofundme.com/Ken-treasure-solve. And I hope you will find future videos just as enlightening as this. Thanks.